when broken glass becomes stained glass. Finding beauty after trauma. The first time I interviewed Angela Ashley, I was struck by something she said that has haunted me ever since. The bruises that hurt the most were the ones no one could see. Angela Ashley isn't just a survivor of domestic violence. She's a revolutionary force transforming how we understand trauma and resilience. Her work supporting women who've experienced abuse has created ripples of healing that have touched thousands of lives. What makes Angela extraordinary isn't just that she survived, it's how she's turned her pain into a lighthouse for others lost in the same storm. We live in a world that often demands proof of our pain. Show us the bruise, show us the scar, show us something tangible we can point to and say, yes, that happened to you. But what about the wounds that leave no visible trace? The ones that alter your breathing, change how you move through the rooms, reshape your very sense of self. I remember sitting across from Angela, watching her hands as she spoke, steady now, but you could almost see the memory of trembling in them. People always ask why I didn't leave sooner, she told me. They never ask what made it so impossible to go. That's the question we should be asking. Not why victims stay, but what systems, fears, and beliefs trap them there. Today, I want to talk about what happens in those invisible spaces, about what it means to survive what was meant to destroy you, about how we rebuild after devastation, not just survive, but thrive. My conversation with Angela revealed something profound about the human spirit, something I believe can transform how we think about trauma, healing, and the extraordinary capacity we all possess to rise from ashes. Angela faced emotional manipulation and fear, abuse that didn't always show on her skin, but left deep scars on her spirit. I remember looking in the mirror, she told me, and not recognizing the person staring back. It wasn't just that I looked different, it was that I couldn't remember who I was supposed to be. That erasure of self, that's the invisible wound. The one society often struggles to validate, the one that makes you feel like you're drowning while everyone around you keeps breathing normally. When Angela finally escaped that relationship, one where she felt stripped of identity and hope, she didn't just rebuild her life, she transformed it. She leveraged community support networks and entrepreneurship as tools for healing, focusing on giving back by raising awareness in honor of other survivors. The day I realized I could use my pain as fuel, Angela shared, everything changed. I stopped seeing myself as damaged goods and started seeing myself as someone with unique insight, someone who could reach back and pull others forward. This is the first truth I want to plant in your heart today. Survival is possible, even when you feel broken. No matter how deep the pain or how isolating the silence, you can survive what was meant to destroy you. Let that sink in for a moment. You can survive what was meant to destroy you. And not just survive, but find your voice again. Reclaim your power, transform. I'm reminded of another powerful story that emerged during my research, one that became widely discussed online as a true crime case, highlighting domestic violence survival among Black women. The story of a woman we'll call Angel. Angel endured religious abuse layered atop intimate partner violence, making escape even more difficult due to stigma within faith communities. The wounds were psychological, spiritual, invisible to most. By bravely sharing details of her ordeal publicly, Angel helped educate audiences about forms of abuse often overlooked in Black communities. Her story sparked conversations across social media platforms about recognizing warning signs beyond bruises. It encouraged others trapped by shame or silence to seek help sooner. One survivor who heard Angel's story told me, I thought because he never hit me, what was happening wasn't abuse. Hearing her describe the same tactics my husband used, the scripture twisting, the isolation, the constant criticism, it was like someone finally handed me the words for what I'd been experiencing. Angel's willingness to speak out led not only to personal liberation, but also empowered other survivors within religious spaces where such topics are rarely addressed openly. The viral reach of her narrative shifted public perception around what counts as abuse. Advocacy groups cited increased calls for support following these discussions online. This brings me to the second truth: your past does not define your future. You may have been shaped by trauma, but you are not bound by it. There is life after loss, healing after hurt, and purpose beyond pain. I've seen this truth embodied in both Angela and Angel's journeys. Their pain became purpose, their wounds became wisdom, their stories became salvation for others. But let me be clear: this isn't about toxic positivity. This isn't about slapping a blessing in disguise label on suffering. This isn't about minimizing the very real damage that trauma inflicts. It's about acknowledging that while we don't get to choose much of what happens to us, we do get some say in what happens next. Angela didn't choose abuse, Angel didn't choose violation, but they both chose eventually to reclaim their stories, to write new endings, to use their voices to create change. And that brings me to the third truth: you have the right and the power to heal and rebuild. Healing isn't linear or easy, it's messy and complicated, and sometimes feels like taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. But every step forward matters, whether through therapy, faith, community support, or self love practices. You deserve a life that feels safe and whole. Speaking up, even if your voice shakes, is powerful. Sharing your story can help others escape their own prisons. Angela found healing through entrepreneurship, creating a business that honors another survivor's legacy while building her own. She rebuilt her confidence through business success while using her platform to break cycles of silence around abuse. Her work has inspired countless Black women entrepreneurs who see themselves reflected in both her struggle and triumph. The first time a woman told me my story gave her courage to leave, Angela shared. I realized that my pain hadn't been pointless, that maybe all the broken pieces were actually building blocks for something beautiful. This is what I call the stained glass principle. When ordinary glass breaks, it's just broken glass, sharp, dangerous, seemingly without purpose. But in the hands of an artist, those same broken pieces can be transformed into stained glass, something that doesn't just let light through, but transforms it into something more beautiful than before. Your broken pieces can become your stained glass. Not immediately, not without effort, not without support, but eventually. I want to pause here and acknowledge something important. If you're in the midst of trauma right now, if you're currently in an abusive situation, please know that there are resources available to help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7 at 1-800 799 7233. You deserve safety. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. For those who have escaped but are still healing, I want to offer a challenge. First, reflect honestly on any area where you felt silenced or small. Second, reach out to someone trusted or simply write down one truth you've been afraid to name. And third, if it's safe to do so, take one concrete step toward reclaiming something that was stolen from you: your joy, your peace, your voice. Remember, even if all you do today is whisper to yourself, I deserve better, that's enough for now. That's a beginning, because healing isn't about grand gestures, it's about small, consistent acts of self reclamation. It's about gathering your scattered pieces and arranging them into something new. When I asked Angela what she would tell her younger self, the one still trapped in abuse, she said something that stopped me in my tracks. I would tell her that the very qualities he tried to destroy in you, your voice, your independence, your light, those are exactly what will save you. And not just save you, but help you build something beautiful from the ashes. That's the power of transformation. That's the alchemy of healing. You see, trauma changes you. There's no denying that. You don't emerge from deep waters completely unchanged, but the change doesn't have to be only damage. It can also be growth, wisdom, depth, compassion, purpose. I want to leave you with this thought. We live in a world that often tries to rush our healing, that wants us to get over it and move on. A world uncomfortable with the messy, nonlinear nature of recovery. But what if we created a different world? What if we built communities that understood trauma's depth and healing's complexity? What if we normalized speaking about our invisible wounds without shame? What if we celebrated each small step toward wholeness as the victory it truly is? This isn't just a personal challenge, it's a cultural one. And it starts with each of us refusing to be silent about our pain, refusing to hide our healing journeys, refusing to pretend we're fine when we're not. So today I challenge you: break the silence about invisible wounds. Support those brave enough to share their stories. Create spaces where healing is honored, not rushed. Recognize the strength it takes to rebuild after devastation. And if you're in the process of turning your broken glass into stained glass, know this: your transformation isn't just for you. Like Angela, Ashley, and Angel, your healing journey illuminates possibilities for others. Your courage creates permission. Your voice breaks chains. The world needs your stained glass window. It needs the unique way you transform light through your healed wounds. It needs the wisdom only you can offer from the depths you've survived. So keep gathering your pieces, keep arranging them in new patterns, keep letting the light shine through. Because in a world full of invisible wounds, your visible healing might be exactly the hope someone else needs to begin their own journey from broken glass to stained glass. Thank you.